Let's talk about manifesting. One of my favorite topics in the whole world. I've been studying it my entire adult life. And the reason I do that is because I was taught how to use my imagination to visualize something I desired back when I first started my flying career. And it worked so well that I just started studying every book I could find on the topic. Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Neville Goddard is one of my favorites. Mary Baker Eddy, Science, Christian Science Church, Ernest Holmes, Science of Mind. All these new thought teachers. It's really old thought. It's been around forever. There's nothing new under the sun. And it has been around forever that people have always known that the inner world is controlling the outer world. But let's talk about how you can manifest a place to live if you need one. That's just one area. There's health, wealth, and happiness. Place to live falls into the category of happiness and wealth because you can't be happy unless you got a place to live, right? Although they say some people are very happy on the streets. I can't believe it, but it is an option. So anyway, what you want to do is create a desire. Figure out what your desire is. What is it that you really need to have happen to transform your life, make it better? I moved many times in my life because I was a crew member. I lived all over the country from the West Coast to the East Coast and, Honolulu, Chicago, you name it. I used to transfer every now and then because I had a 35-year career. And, sometimes you'd transfer because of the flying. Sometimes you'd transfer just because you had something you needed to do in that particular city. And it made life very interesting, but I always needed to manifest a place to live. And I got very good at it because the very first thing I was taught when I met a man back when I was 21 years old, when I started my career, and he taught me how to use my imagination to visualize and feel like I'd already gotten what I wanted, and it worked. And that very first thing I wanted was to move from Chicago to New York City and go be based there and live in a beautiful apartment. And it happened very, very quickly as I was feeling like I was already there at night when I was falling asleep and in the morning when I was waking up. You can do the same thing. You just have to get clarity on what you want, because every time you're clear, you contact your higher self that knows exactly how to make it happen. We live in a mental universe. So, okay, the first thing is desire. You have to really desire it. I really desired moving to New York from Chicago. It wasn't a wishy-washy thing. I really desired building a house in my hometown years ago. I wrote it down in my magic notebook that I wanted it to be 2 miles from the beach. I described it. After the house was finished, I found that magic notebook that I had tucked away, and I had built a house 2 miles from the beach. And it was pretty much just the way I described it. It's really fascinating the way when you make that impression on your subconscious mind, because the desire is something you're very clear on, you start to assume and feel like it's already happened. That's the law of assumption. You must step into it and feel and act like it has already happened and make your plans accordingly. Talk to people in a way that it's already been realized in your life. Didn't Jesus say, ask as if you've already received, and that the kingdom of heaven is within? So that within is that place, that kingdom of heaven, where you can use your imagination to create whatever you desire. Once you get really good at it, you can get rid of all your stress, all your anxiety, because you know that you've got your best friend working with you moment to moment. And if something comes up that's out of whack, out of harmony, you can go there to that level of consciousness where there are no problems, only solutions. And you begin to expect only good things to happen in your life. If you're expecting good when you step out of your door every day and when you go about your business, and you expect people to treat you well and you expect things to work out, you're going to have a much better experience than someone who's always going negative and saying nothing ever works out for me. You don't want to be like that person. You want to clear that out. Use a spiritual path. That's why it's so important to work on our character, our traits, our personalities in order to become better people. Because the more you work on your moral compass, becoming a better person, the easier it is to manifest. Believe me, when I had my spiritual awakening years ago, my moral compass changed. Things that I had accepted as being okay were no longer okay. Believe me, once you align yourself with your higher self, that level of consciousness that is beyond the 3D world, beyond your five senses, it's a whole other game. You're protected too. You feel safe because you know, and I've had evidence of this over and over and over again, there are no accidents once you're tuned in. Even if you have what looks like an accident, it probably won't even affect you. That's the way it works. You are safe once you make that connection, because the inner world is controlling the outer world. And when you get that and you really become understanding of that, you practice it all day long. You no longer want to go there in that negative world of, oh, nothing ever works out for me, or, life sucks and then you die. You wouldn't even think those thoughts because you realize you're programming yourself for failure. You don't want that. You want to program yourself for success. Get the Pillars of Manifesting. It's in the link below, 2 sheets free, and you can use them to hone in on manifesting your heart's desires. Go to my website, and I really encourage you to read my book. If you buy it off my website, I'll send it to you, signed copy. And it really will open your eyes to how, if I can do it, you can do it. We're all on this path while we're living in this 3-dimensional world. And I do believe that one of the biggest reasons we came here for was to challenge ourselves in these situations we find ourselves in, so that we can transform, heal, and awaken to that level of consciousness where there are no problems, only solutions.